So the third important case is the Ahmedabad Working Woman Group case versus Union of India. In India, in personal matters like marriage, divorce, adoption, etc., all religious communities are not governed by a common law. Although the founding fathers of the Constitution of the India included the enactment of a common civil code as a directive principles of a state policy, Article 44 of the Constitution. Directive principles are present in the Article 44 of the Constitution. No such law applicable in the personal matters to all religious communities has been enacted even after the several decades of independence. Means after independence also we are not having such common laws for all religions. So the third case is the Ahmedabad Working Woman Group case versus the Union of India. It is against this background that the writ petitions were filed as a public interest litigation, means PIL, wherein the certain provisions of Mohammedan law were challenged are being violated by the violative of the Constitution of the India. In particular, the following reliefs were prayed for in the petition filed by the Ahmedabad Women Action Group, namely to declare the Muslim personal law which allows the polygamy as a void as a violating articles 14 and 15 of the Constitution which guarantee equality to all. B point is to declare the Muslim personal law which enables a Muslim male to give unilateral talaq to his wife without her consent and without resort to judicial process of courts as a void, being in a violation of Article 13, 14 and 15 of Constitution. Means here in these personal laws it is allowed to do marriages 2 or 3. So this is the message, or this is said in this A point. In B, Muslim male can give unilateral talaq, means if he wants to give talaq, then unilateral talaq means no court procedures have to be followed, only just you have to say talaq. So these are the violating the articles 13, 14 and 15 of the Constitution to declare that the mere fact that a Muslim husband takes more than one wife is an act of a cruelty without the meaning of a section within the meaning of a section 2 of the Dissolution of the Muslim Marriages Act 1939. So the D point is to declare that the Muslim Woman Protection of Rights on Divorce Act 1986 is void as it infringes Article 14 and 15 of the Constitution of the India. E is about to declare that the provisions of the Sunni and the Shia laws of inheritance which discriminate against the females in their share as compared to the share of males of the same status are void as they discriminate against the females only on the ground of sex. Means here share is given less to the woman on the discrimination of the gender. So certain provisions of other personal laws, namely the Hindu Succession Act, the Hindu Marriage Act, Minority and Guardianship Act, Divorce Act and the Indian Succession Act were also challenged. The Supreme Court by a majority verdict dismissed all the petitions. The court pointed out that the writ petitions dealt mainly with the issues of the state policy with which the courts would not ordinarily interfere. It was also observed that the court had adopted the same approach on a number of earlier occasions when similar matters have been brought before it. While dismissing all the cases, the court cited the various previous decisions of the apex court where it was held that such matters fall within the prerogative of the legislature and not of the judiciary. So these matters are decided by the legislature and not by the judiciary. This is the conclusion of this third case, Ahmedabad Working Woman Group case versus Union of India.